Just going to do a quick review on a game that streamed on, must have been Monday night. It was called, well, we would know it more as Kid Dracula. It's got a longer name on it. I know whenever I said that I wasn't going to, whenever I was going to be doing this, that I wouldn't do some of the unlicensed games and things like that, and even some of the ones from Japan. This one, I had a couple of versions of the game that were in English. One of them is in a Konami Castlevania collection that came out for the Xbox One and the PS4, and may have come out for the Switch as well. And that's the version I was using because I was using the save states on it. This game is very different than most of the Castlevania series. You play as what is supposed to be Dracula as a kid, and after each stage, you get a new superpower, and those go from like homing spells, an ice ball, one allows you to walk on the ceiling, one allows you to turn into a bat. Both of those last 5 seconds. Just a couple of different things that you can do on there. The game is difficult in some spots if you don't know what's coming up. That's why I was using some of the save states. I went through the game a few times, but I'm still not 100% sure like where everything is. I do like the game, however. It's a side-scrolling platformer, and it's a good game. It's a little bit older, but it's a very good game for what it is. And like I said, it's a side-scrolling platformer. Does have, continue and password feature. I think it does on stuff like that so that you can pick up where you left off. The only thing that really got me is toward the end, there's a lot of mini bosses. And then the main boss, the main last boss, when you fight him, you have to kind of go in between these laser beams and then shoot straight up at him, and there's no indication that you're hitting him because there's nothing going on. There's just a little bit of a sound, and you have to listen for that. I use the homing shot a lot because it picks up either multiple enemies or it'll hit some of the bosses multiple times. So I used a charged up one on that one. You have to charge up each of the weapons. If you switch them, you have to charge them so that you can use them. So you have to hold down the button while you do that. It's pretty standard. One button shoots, one button jumps. Of course, if you hold down the shot button, it does whatever it's supposed to on whatever you've got picked, whatever you've got selected down in the corner. You can get some heart containers to make a max up to 5 hearts. Also, you can get coins whenever you use like the homing one, and some of the other attacks will give you coins when it kills enemies. These are to play mini games. I don't really understand some of the mini games. I think 1 or 2 of them are just chance. Actually, probably all 4 are just chance. You can get extra lives in them, and I guess that's why they kind of added them in there. Like I said, after you've been through the stages a few times with trial and error, the stages aren't too bad. The bosses aren't too bad. The game's it can be simple after you play it a few times and you know what you're doing. It becomes a little bit easier, but it still retains some of that difficulty that us gamers would expect from a game with a Castlevania lineage. I don't know if I'm gonna do any of the other Castlevania games or not. I may do just quick playthroughs of them because the first one I didn't beat it until just a couple of years ago because I can get to about the 4th stage boss or even the 5th stage, and I can't get much further than that unless I use like save states or anything like that. Castlevania 2, I just I beat not too long ago. Basically because whenever I first played the game, I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it, and um, now that I've played through it and I understand how the mechanics and things on it work a little bit better, I was like, well, it's a little bit. It's still not that good, but it's okay. Number 3 is terribly hard. If I do that one, I will definitely have to make save states. It is definitely difficult. Super Castlevania 4 is not real bad. I'd have to use save states on it as well, and the 2 for the Game Boy. The 2 for the Game Boy are not. They don't take as long as the other ones, of course, because they're Game Boy games, and most Game Boy games, like Super Mario Land, there was only four worlds. Super Mario Land 2, there's only 6 worlds. So there's not that many worlds in between, Game Boy versions of the games, because those were made to be little handheld games on a little handheld system that were just that you could use in a car on a trip somewhere or something. So they designed those to not be as long of a playthrough as some of the other games, because they knew that a lot of players wouldn't do it. And also, a lot of players didn't have pen and paper to write down passwords or anything of that nature. So, you didn't carry that type of stuff with you, or if you did, it was kind of probably in the suitcase in the back of the car, or somewhere on a plane if you were riding on a plane. So, it wasn't always readily accessible to you at that point. So you want to, and some of them didn't even have a battery backup until a little bit later, and then they'd have a battery backup. So, but the games that were made before all that, you had to, you pretty much had to be able to beat them almost in one shot. Like I said, may go through them, may not. I don't know yet. We'll see if those come about a little bit later on down the road. I believe the Friday night flashback this week is going to be Arch Rivals, like I'd said before, and it's a basketball game. So we'll probably play one game of that, and then we'll come with a review, and we'll do a review off of that. And it's a game I grew up kind of playing quite a bit as a kid, so a little bit of nostalgia there. But until next time, like I said, I thought the Kid Dracula game was good. If you ever get a chance to play it, definitely try it out. See what you think of it. And until next time, we'll see you then.